Welcome to Founder Talks. I'm here today with Chibeza Agley, CEO and founder of OBRIZUM. They're a really exciting early stage AI company based out of Cambridge, and they are disrupting the way that corporates deliver digital learning to their staff. Hi Chibeza, welcome to Founder Talks. Can you tell us a little bit about what OBRIZUM does?
OBRIZUM is a deep technology company focusing on the corporate learning space, and we make it more automatic to build programs of learning, more personalized, more atomically personalized, and really analytical. So we analyze all the streams of data and help businesses make better data-driven decisions.
Perhaps for the lay people watching you could use an analogy to kind of bring that to life.
You want to take a trip across London on a bus. The traditional way of learning would see you having to go through every single stop. OBRIZUM's a bit more like an Uber, where you can jump in and it can take the most efficient route that you need in order to get to where you're going.
Perhaps we could look at a case study and talk about one of the companies you work with and how you've impacted them.
OBRIZUM's a sector agnostic proposition, so we can serve almost any industry or vertical. But let's say we've been doing quite a lot in the finance sector at the moment. So big banks typically will use us and they'll give us a lot of their knowledge assets, their learning materials. We can go in there and we can build programs of learning in seconds and minutes rather than months it takes to create these programs. If we can get people from being able to prove out their competencies and skills faster, say 5 times faster than traditional digital learning, then they can be delivering real business value at their desk, making deals, cutting costs, and driving that business forward to be more competitive and more resilient. And we want to help the business do that, not just from the skills and competencies perspective, but to actually connect the digital learning with the strategic objectives of an organization.
Given the broad applicability of OBRIZUM that you just talked about, what's the size and scale of the problem you're solving?
Well, that's an exciting question, Matt, because the size and scale of the problem that we're solving is truly monumental. But from our perspective, we think there isn't a business today that doesn't need some form of digital learning, and OBRIZUM is going to help those businesses to make it more efficient, more scalable, more personalized, and more data-driven and analytical than it's been in the last few centuries.
Perfect. So if we move to OBRIZUM as a corporate, you're one of 3 co-founders. Did you deliberately choose to found the business as a trio rather than an individual?
Trying to do everything by yourself can get exhausting, especially if you want to go a really long way and if you want to build something really big. And so having that ability to kind of share and to innovate together and to get excited and to have fun and to share the hard times is just wonderful.
We've talked a lot about opportunities and the sky's the limit for OBRIZUM. You're very ambitious, we're very ambitious for you. Perhaps we could look at the other side of the coin. So what are some of the risks involved in the business?
When you generate and build a truly disruptive new piece of technology, it's not like you can just take that and plonk it into the commercial sector and make it all work. One of the reasons that we're working with you, Matt, is that we want your expertise on the placement of our technology to help really let it take off. So the risk is that people won't necessarily understand disruptive new technologies on the first pass. They need to see it through various different lenses. You have to explain the true business value that implementing this technology will bring. And so the risks are really related to not doing that effectively.
There's a lot written, I think, about the success stories in startups, and I think it can paint a very rosy picture, but there must be difficult days as well. How do you deal with them?
Business is really just about the hardest thing that you can do, and certainly growing a successful company which employs hundreds, if not thousands of people is one of the most difficult challenges on the planet, and that's why I'm doing it, because I really like that sort of level of challenge, but it's also, again, why we're working with Scaling Partner, because I think I recognize and respect that is the level of the challenge that we're working to.
I can tell you're super motivated. You've got that fire in your belly to create something great. What was your original motivation to start the business?
Well, originally, when we founded the business, we were working as scientists in the University of Cambridge, and we saw that it was just taking a really long time for exciting innovations or emerging technologies that could one day change the world to actually get into society. And we thought, look, can we do something to speed this up? And then the really eureka moment was that if this is valuable in this kind of first iteration, what would happen if we scaled that using technology and we brought that same value and we could amplify it globally at scale for organizations everywhere? And we realized that what we were talking about was the next billion-pound technology company. So we wanted to put the market need and opportunity with our ability to create and innovate together to actually then come and deliver that billion-pound company.
And what's your key motivation as a founder?
The opportunity to, first of all, build a world-leading product which people find value and are really excited about is so thrilling to me. But then also from a business person's perspective, to take an organization from absolutely founding it at the ground zero and taking it all the way end to end, all the way through to potentially listing it on the stock market, an extremely exciting proposition from the business side. And both of those things have me equally excited to wake up in the morning and go and get it done.
So you've clearly got great ambitions for the business. How important have relationships been so far in what you've achieved so far?
Relationships have defined our organisation from day one. I don't think we would have achieved half as much as we have, maybe even less, without the partnerships and supporters that we've had along the way to keep pushing us up. And so, and that taught us the value of partnerships and those relationships. Because if you build supporters, they're going to push you over the line when things get really tough.
Since we've been working together, you signed up some amazing new clients in both corporate and government space. Can you talk to a few of the examples?
Yeah, so we're really privileged that about 90% of our client base are corporate, government and defence kind of blue chip organisations that we get the pleasure of serving with our technology. We feel that we're supporting that whole ecosystem to deliver more value into the economy broadly, and it's a really great feeling to be contributing to that.
So it's clear that you and the other founders of OBRIZUM are hugely ambitious. What's the ultimate aim for the business and where you want to get to?
We think we've got a real opportunity as a disruptive technology to completely transform the corporate learning sector. So I think that is really an exciting proposition to be a part of. I think to wake up one morning when the business is kind of listed on the stock market and every company in the world is talking about drawing value from learning in this more non-linear adaptive way, I think we will know that we've achieved our goal.
Finally, what would your advice be to other startup founders?
Have a really strong belief in what you're trying to deliver. Persevere and be relentless in your work ethic, and find wonderful people around you who are going to give you honest feedback and who are going to support you in doing what you want to do with your organisation.